Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do my the last half of what I added to Goodreads in December. There's a lot of books, but some of them I already read and some of them are part of series, so hopefully this should go quick because I still have a couple more videos to make. So the first one I have is The Cafe by the Sea by Jenny Colgan. I'm starting a new series by her because they had Christmas at the Island Hotel and its sequel for sale on Audible last month, and they looked good, but I realized they were part of a series, so I bought the series. Well, I added the series to my TBR. I haven't actually bought the first few books yet. But the first one is The Cafe by the Sea. Years ago, Flora fled the quiet Scottish island where she grew up, and she hasn't looked back. What would she have done on Muir? It's a place where everyone has known her all her life, where no one will let her forget the past. In bright, bustling London, she can be anonymous, ambitious, and hopelessly in love with her boss. But when fate brings Flora back to the island, she's suddenly swept once more into life with her brothers, all strapping, loud, and seemingly incapable of basic housework, and her father. Yet even among the chaos of their reunion, Flora discovers a passion for cooking and finds herself restoring dusty little pink-fronted shop on a cafe by the sea. But with the seasons changing, Flora must come to terms with past mistakes and work out exactly where her future lies. So yeah, that's the first one. Then we have The Endless Beach, Christmas on the Island Hotel, and An Island Wedding. I think there's more, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I have books 3 and 4, so I had to add the other ones to the list. Anyway, then we have Comfort and Joy by Kristen Hanna. I read this already, hated it, talked about it twice. Moving on. Next we have The Bookbinder by Pip Williams. I heard about this one from Lindsay's Little Library. A young British woman working in a bookbindery gets a chance to pursue knowledge and love when World War I upends her life. Okay. I don't care all the places that reviewed this book. It is 1914, and as the war draws the young men of Britain away to fight, women must keep the nation running. 2 of those women are Peggy and Maud, twin sisters who live on a narrow boat in Oxford and work in the bindery at the university press. Ambitious, intelligent Peggy has been told for most of her life that her job is to bind the books, not read them. But as she folds and gathers pages, her mind wanders to the opposite side of Walton Street, where the female students of Oxford's Somerville College have a whole library at their fingertips. Maud, meanwhile, wants nothing more than what she has: to spend her days folding the pages of books in the company of the other bindery girls. She is extraordinarily but vulnerable. She is extraordinary but vulnerable, and Peggy feels compelled to watch over her. Then, refugees arrive from the war-torn cities of Belgium, sending ripples through the Oxford community and the sisters' lives. Peggy begins to see the possibility of another future where she can educate herself and use her intellect, not just her hands. But as war and illness reshape her world, her love for a Belgian soldier and the responsibility that comes with it threaten to hold her back. That sounds like fun. Then we have A Quilt for Christmas by Sandra Dallas. I read this already, talked about it in my wrap-up. Then we have The Half-Stitched Amish Quilting Club by Wanda E. Brunstetter. I'd heard about this from Lizzie Faye Loves Books, and then I guess it just came on audio, because when I heard about it, I remember looking for it because I wanted it, and it wasn't on audio. But I guess now it is. So, yeah. Join the club of unlikely quilters who show up for Amish widow Emma Yoder's quilting classes. A troubled young woman, a struggling couple, a widower, a rough and tough biker, and a preacher's wife make up the mismatched lot. But as their problems begin to bind them together like the scraps of fabric stitched together in a quilt, they learn to open up and lend a helping hand. Is this what God had in mind to heal hurting hearts and create beauty from fragments? Sounds good, right? And we have the Amish Christian... I'm going to speak today. The Amish Christmas Letters by Patricia Davids. That is a short story collection. I'm probably going to read that one this month, even though it's Christmas. It sounds sort of epistolary. Then we have Masquerade at Middlecrest Abbey by Abigail Wilson. I heard about this one from book lover Amanda. I'm kind of into this Regency era stuff since I started reading more Julie Clausen. When the widowed Lord Torrington agreed to spy for the crown, he never planned to impersonate a highwayman, let alone rob the wrong carriage. Stranded on the road with an unconscious young woman, he is forced to propose marriage to protect his identity as well as his dangerous mission. Trapped by not only the duty to her country but her limited options, Miss Elizabeth Cantrell and her illegitimate son are whisked away to Middlecrest Abbey by none other than the elder brother of her son's absent father. She is met by Torrington's beautiful grown daughters, a vicious murderer, and an urgent hunt for the missing intelligence that could turn the war with France. Afraid of what Lord Torrington might do if he learns of her son's true identity, Elizabeth must remain one step ahead of her fragile heart, her uncertain future, and the relentless mystery person bent on her new family's ruin. Sounds fun. I left my water bottle over there. I'll be back. Ugh. Seriously, RSV is no joke. I've been pretty much okay for the last week or so, but the cough does not go away for a while. Anyway, then we have The Letter from Briarton Park by Sarah E. Ladd, another Amanda book. In Regency England, one letter will alter a young woman's fate when it summons her to Briarton Park, an ancient place that holds the secrets of her past and the keys to her future. Cassandra Hale grew up knowing little about her parentage, and she had made peace with the fact that she never would. But Cassandra's world shifts when a shocking deathbed confession reveals a 2-year-old letter from Mr. Clark, the master of Briarton Park, with hints to her family's identity. Stung by betrayal, she travels to the village of Anston, only to learn Mr. Clark has since passed away. James Warrington is a widower and the new master of Briarton Park, where he lives with his 2 young daughters, his sister, and his mother-in-law. When Cassandra appears at his doorstep with a letter from the previous owner and then proceeds to assist his family in an unexpected way, he is honor-bound to help uncover the answers she seeks. The more time Cassandra spends in Anston, the more she begins to suspect not everything or everyone is as they seem. As details emerge, the danger surrounding her intensifies. Using wit and intuition, she must navigate the treacherous landscapes between truth and rumors and between loyalty and deception if she is to uncover the realities of her past and find the place her heart can finally call home. Sounds fun. Next we have Christmas with the Lords by Hannah Langdon. I read this already. Loved it. Next we have The Lost Passenger by Frances Quinn. I heard about this one from Krista from Books and Jams. This one is releasing on February 25th, which sucks because I want it now. It's a Titanic book. In the chaos of that terrible night, her secret went down with the Titanic. But secrets have a way of floating to the surface. Trapped in an unhappy aristocratic marriage, Eleanor Coombs sees only lonely days ahead of her. So, present from her father, tickets for the maiden voyage of a huge, luxurious new ship called the Titanic offers a welcome escape from the cold, controlling atmosphere of her husband's ancestral home, and some precious time with her little son, Teddy. When the ship goes down, Eleanor realizes the disaster has given her a chance to take Teddy and start a new life, but only if they can disappear completely, listed as among the dead. Penniless and using another woman's name, she has to learn to survive in a world that couldn't be more different from her own, and keep their secrets safe. And I'm assuming the secret gets discovered. Next we have Once for Yes by Allie Millington. Another Krista book. This one comes out March 25th. Man, these books are all good. And I have to wait for them. The Odenberg, an old apartment building made of brick and blunt opinions, is the last of its kind in a swiftly changing neighborhood. After years of putting up with people and their own many problems, the Odenberg knows there's no point in getting attached. They all just leave eventually. A truth that comes all too soon when the building is sold and slated for demolition, giving tenants a month to move out. No one is more troubled by the news than 11-year-old Prue, who refuses to leave her family's apartment. Not when it was the last place she lived with her sister Lena, before she lost Lena forever. When Prue launches a plan to save their home, the Odenberg joins in, flickering lights, jamming elevators, triggering fire alarms, all to try and bring a building full of bickering residents together. In the process, Prue meets Louis, an eccentric boy who lives across the street, and the only one who can help her discover the missing elements of her sister's story. So it sounds like this apartment has its own personality, similar to Olivetti, the typewriter who can think. I haven't read that one, but they both sound good. Next we have The Girl with the Diary by Sherry J. Ryan. One of my World War II author go-tos. What if you never come back? I asked. I will find you, Amelia. I promise I will find you. Okay. Nazi-occupied Prague, 1942. Amelia is hiding in her closet when flashlights blind her, and she's captured by the SS. Out on the cobblestone streets, she is shoved onto a freight train with hundreds of others. Hours pass as they travel in darkness. Arriving in Theresienstadt concentration camp, Amelia fears for her life when she is led to a block by a soldier. He is her enemy, but he risks everything to secretly pass her a piece of bread, an act that saves her. They are meant to despise one another, but Amelia and Charlie are powerfully drawn to each other. Yet, among so much tragedy, surviving feels impossible, and falling in love is a miracle. So, yeah, interesting. Next we have In Another Time by Jillian Cantor. I heard about this one from Alma's Book Journey. Jillian Cantor also wrote Margot. Basically a reimagining of what if Margot had survived, Margot Frank, Anne's sister. What if she had survived the concentration camps? And that was an interesting read. I liked it. So I think this author is going to be good. And this one has time travel, looks like. A sweeping historical novel that spans Germany, England, and the United States and follows a young couple torn apart by circumstances leading up to World War II, and the family secret that may prove to be the means for survival. Love brought them together, but only time can save them. 1931, Germany. Bookshop owner Max Basinger meets Hannah Ginsberg, a budding concert violinist, and immediately feels a powerful chemistry between them. It isn't long before they fall in love and begin making plans for the future. As their love affair unfolds over the next 5 years, the climate drastically changes in Germany as Hitler comes to power. Their love is tested with the new landscape and the realities of war, not the least of which is that Hannah is Jewish and Max is not. But unbeknownst to Hannah is the fact that Max has a secret, which causes him to leave for months at a time. A secret that Max is convinced will help save Hannah if Germany becomes too dangerous for her because of her religion. In 1946, Hannah Ginsberg awakens in a field outside of Berlin. Disoriented and afraid, she has no memories of the past 10 years and no idea what happened to Max. With no information as to Max's whereabouts or if he is even still alive, she decides to move to London to live with her sister while she gets her bearings. Even without an orchestrated plan, she throws herself completely into her music to keep alive her lifelong dream of becoming a concert violinist. But the music also serves as a balm to heal her deeply wounded heart, and she eventually gets the opening she long hoped for. Even so, as the days, months, and years pass, taking her from London to Paris to Vienna to America. She continues to be haunted by her forgotten past and the fate of the only man she has ever loved and cannot forget. So yeah, there's that. Next we have a few releases from Chloe from Always Books, her new release video that she just did. So, these are all January new releases. First one is The Family Doctor by J.M. Dalgliesh. This one was released today, January 2nd. I have 3 days to kill a patient. If I fail, my daughter will die. As the only doctor on a stunning remote Scottish island, I finally feel safe and happy. Here, nobody knows about my troubled past except my teenage daughter, Lauren. As a single mother, it's just the two of us now, and Lauren is my world. Caring for every person on the island from birth to death, I know all their fears and secrets, but they don't know mine, and for the sake of my daughter, I must keep it that way. Everything is going perfectly until I'm sent a link to a live video stream of my beautiful daughter, Lauren, her wide blue eyes terrified, and there is a voice. 3 rules, 3 days. You must murder one of your patients. You must not tell another soul. You must not get caught. If you fail, your daughter dies. Creepy. Next we have A Love Like No Other by Kate Frost. This one's coming out January 6th. 4 women struggle with their life choices and the hand fate has dealt them. I'm going to kind of summarize this quickly. One of them is having infertility issues. She wants marriage and kids. Another one has the opposite problem. She's having issues with her kids. The third one is an actress who's traveling and her boyfriend wants to commit to the future. And Connie is also going through fertility issues and bonds with the other one. I don't know. I like the 4 women trope, though. I'm trying to go through this quickly. Next, we have When She's Gone by Rhea Fry, releasing January 14th. In this haunting story that spans 3 decades, a young gymnast escapes a kidnapping. Years later, she's forced to face the past when her own daughter disappears. That's the gist of it. Next we have Middle Grade, Same Page by Ellie Schwartz, also releasing January 14th. A novel about Take Charge 6th grader Bess Stein, who brings together friends and a group of rock star librarians called the Book Warriors to fight a book ban happening at her middle school. That's all I need to know. Next we have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This one is releasing January 14th. I heard about it first from April Overall, then by Chloe, and most recently by Jen from The Bookish Blonde. I'm a little torn on this one because I'm not into horror, and if April is recommending a book on a witchcraft, it's scary. So I'm putting it on hold and I'm going to try it. I may DNF it. There's power in a book. They call them wayward girls, loose girls, girls who grew up too fast, and they're sent to the Wellwood home in St. Augustine, Florida, where unwed mothers are hidden by their families to have their babies in secret, giving them up for adoption, and most important of all, to forget any of it ever happened. 15-year-old Fern arrives at the home in the sweltering summer of 1970, pregnant, terrified, and alone. Under the watchful eye of the stern Miss Wellwood, she meets a dozen other girls in the same predicament. There's Rose, a hippie, who insists she's going to find a way to keep her baby and escape to a commune. And Zinnia, a budding musician who knows she's going to go home and marry her baby's father. And Holly, a wisp of a girl, barely 14, mute and pregnant by no one knows who. Everything the girls eat, every moment of their waking days, and everything they're allowed to talk about is strictly controlled by adults who claim they know what's best for them. Then Fern meets a librarian who gives her an occult book about witchcraft. and power is in the hands of the girls for the first time in their lives. But power can destroy as easily as it creates, and it's never given freely. There's always a price to be paid, and it's usually paid in blood. Hence why I'm a little terrified. I don't know if I'll like this or if I'm going to DNF it. It can go either way. Next, we have The Perfect Plan by Caitlin Weaver, releasing January 15th. She wanted to give the ultimate gift. It became the ultimate betrayal. Fabiola has spent her life being good, the perfect daughter to her single father, a supportive wife to her entrepreneurial husband, who's throwing everything they have at launching a startup, a devoted mother to her 3 beautiful children, and a loyal best friend to Liz, who's been by Fabiola's side since Liz married her oldest childhood friend, Peter. When Liz needs help starting her own family, Fabiola comes up with the perfect plan. She's good at being pregnant, and she so badly wants to help her friend. It seems like the greatest gift one woman can give another. And for Peter, she will do anything. So, I'm a little worried what this means. But it also sounds intriguing. I'm a little worried that this surrogacy plan might become surrogacy of the old-fashioned way, if you know what I mean. Next, we have The Photographer's Secret by Ellie Midwood. This one is releasing January 15th. I'm really excited about this one. I have another book by her on my TBR. I didn't realize it was the same author, but Maggie's hands tremble as she lowers her camera, unable to bear the little girl's haunted eyes pleading at her from behind the gates. This camp is hell on earth, and this roll of film is enough for the Nazis to kill her, but she won't rest until the world knows the truth. Germany, 1944. Nazi banners blowing in the wind, Maggie Sullivan takes her first steps into enemy territory. Armed only with a camera and a U.S. press pass, Maggie never backs down from danger, but close to her heart is a secret, one that she can never share. Maggie was born in Germany. Years ago, she and her mother were forced to flee Berlin, leaving her siblings behind. The U.S. Army are Maggie's protectors for now, but she wakes each night in a cold sweat. What will they do if they discover her past? Every day, Maggie works tirelessly to prove the horrifying truth about what Nazis are doing in the camps. But inching closer to the barbed wire, an inscription on an officer's report grips her with an ice-like fear. Her family's name. She's desperate to know more, but it will risk her entire mission. She must save the innocents, even if it means letting the secrets of her own past slip through her fingers. Then the unthinkable happens. Just as she snaps her first shot of the camp, Maggie feels a rough hand snatch the camera from her grip. Someone knows about her secret, and if she's captured, her photos will never leave Germany. As Maggie fights to prove her innocence, will her story be lost forever? Can she survive long enough to help free the prisoners in the camp and heal the trauma of her past? Right. I cannot wait. This one, I'm still waiting to even pre-order it on Audible. I don't know what's taking so long. Next is The Train That Took You Away by Catherine Hawken, another World War II book by one of my favorite World War II authors, releasing January 20th, and it's also another one that is not on Audible to pre-order yet. Berlin in 1938. I wiped the tears streaming down my darling son's face, my heart shattering into a million pieces. I promise I will find you, my love, no matter what. Ever since the Nazis came to power, violence has spread through the city Esther Spielman once called home. Each night she prays her family will be spared, but when her husband and father are murdered alongside fellow Jews during Kristallnacht, she has no choice but to send her beloved son, Sasha, to safety. Esther's heart breaks as she watches his thin legs trembling in the cold as he is ushered with the other crying children toward the kinder transport. As the train leaves in a cloud of smoke, she thinks of the painting of the two of them hanging in their house. In it, they are tightly embracing and laughing, everything just as it should be. She vows that she will hold him like this once again. But has Esther made a promise she can't possibly keep? So, and then it looks like she gets captured. So, Will she see her son again? Hopefully she does. Almost done. Which is good because my battery's dying. And I have 2 more videos to make. Next we have Stolen Baby by L.G. Davis. In print, it's releasing on January 24th. And on audio, it's not releasing until March 4th, which is infuriating. I told everyone she is my baby. I lied. My life changed forever when my little girl appears in a basket on my doorstep. Her long lashes fluttering, only a few hours old. She's so tiny and precious. My heart is hers in an instant. My husband Tom and I have always longed for a child, so we agreed not to tell the authorities. We won't risk them taking her away. And I know if they find out my history, they'd never let me keep her. I'm so grateful to have my beautiful baby, who we call Daisy. But while Tom refuses to talk about it, I can't stop wondering who her biological parents are and why they left her with us. Then someone sends me a message, enclosing it in a funeral program I find on my kitchen table. Now I know the terrible truth about what happened to Daisy's parents, and it's closer to home than I could have ever imagined. I thought I could protect us all, despite my past mistakes. But when the secrets I uncover put my family's lives at risk, how far will I go to keep the little girl I love? I'm in. Then we have The Crash by Frida McFadden. This one's coming out January 28th. The nightmare she's running from is nothing compared to where she's headed. Tegan is 8 months pregnant, alone and desperately wants to put her crumbling life in the rearview mirror, so she hits the road, planning to stay with her brother until she can figure out her next move. But she doesn't realize she's heading straight into a blizzard. She never arrives at her destination. Stranded in rural Maine with a dead car and broken ankle, Tegan worries she's made a terrible mistake. Then a miracle, she is rescued by a couple who offers her a room in their warm cabin until the snow clears. But something isn't right. Tegan believes she was waiting out the storm, but as time ticks by, she comes to realize she's in grave danger. This safe haven isn't what she thought it was, and staying here may have been her most deadly mistake yet. Next we have A Mother's Last Wish by Joe Bartlett. This one is releasing January 26th. This wasn't really even on Chloe's list of books for the January. I found it on her Goodreads when I was trying to find some of the book titles to add to my Goodreads from her YouTube list, if that makes any sense. Anyway. 2 Sisters, One Heartbreaking Promise. To everyone who knows them, Louisa and Tom are the perfect couple. They have 2 beautiful kids, Stan and Flo, and are about to celebrate 10 years of happy marriage. Life is perfect, but when Lou is dealt devastating news, that perfect life is turned upside down, and Lou and Tom must reevaluate the very foundations on which their marriage is built. Lou's greatest concern is who will look after her children if she's not there to care for them. Will anyone be able to love them like she does? Holly can't face the news that Lou is so sick, and as twins they've always been together. Older by 20 minutes, Holly has always tried to protect her little sister. So she'll do anything, promise anything to make Lou feel happy and safe. Holly loves Stan and Flo fiercely, but with no children of her own, can she ever be the mother her sister wants for her children? Determined to make the most of every precious moment, Lou's final wish for her family is to show them what it really means to live and love. And as Tom and Holly try to navigate their own pain, all they want is to shower Flo and Stan with love and help them make the most of the time they have left with the mother who adores them. Yeesh. Sounds like a tearjerker. I don't know why I do this to myself. Why do I go for books where all the parents are probably going to die? Anyway, next we have The Midnight Hour by Kate Hewitt. It's part of the Lost Lake series. It's book 2, releasing January 10th. I haven't read book 1, The Last Stars in the Sky, but I have it. Then we have The Girl Who Never Gave Up, Emerald Sisters number 4 by Kate Hewitt, releasing January 30th. I don't know why she has 2 releases in the same month, but I was waiting for the whole Emerald Sisters series so I can read them together. And I think this is my last book. Echoes Among the Stones by Jamie Jo Wright. I heard about this one from book lover Amanda. Isn't this kind of an outlandery title, Echoes Among the Stones? After Aki Dunkirk's career is unceremoniously ended by her own mistake, she finds herself traveling to Wisconsin, where her grandmother, Mumsy, lives alone in her vintage, though very outdated home. Aki didn't plan for how eccentric Mumsy has become, obsessing over an old unsolved crime scene, even going so far as to recreate it in a dollhouse. Mystery seems to follow Aki as she finds work as a secretary, helping to restore the flooded historical part of the town's cemetery. Forced to work with a puzzling yet attractive archaeologist, she exhumes the past secrets and unwittingly uncovers a crime that some will go to any length to keep hidden, even if that means silencing Aggie. In 1946, Imogene Grayson works in a beauty salon, but has her sights set on Hollywood. But coming home to discover her younger sister's body in the attic changes everything. Unfamiliar with the burgeoning world of forensic science, and as a woman not particularly welcomed into the investigation, Imogene is nonetheless determined to stay involved. As her sister's case grows cold, Imogene vows to find justice, no matter the cost. And yep, that is the last of the books for December. I heard Jamie Jo Wright's a good author. A lot of people talk about her on BookTube, so we'll see if I like her. Or is it a him? Jamie can be a man's name, too. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. I still have my favorites of 2024 and my January TBR, so I'll rest my voice and be back later. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!
Speech on. 20% close. Stop recording.